Hello guys, and welcome to another tutorial for Injustice 2 Mobile. I don't do those often enough, but today I have a very important topic. The topic that puzzled me for a very long time is how people get incredibly high threat on their teams. And I've done a massive research, I've used a lot of comments you guys left on my videos, and today we're gonna talk how to get the maximum threat possible on a character, and if you should do it or when it's not a good idea to do it. So first of all, we're gonna discuss the gear chance effects, the talents, how they affect threat and which ones you should strive for. Let's start with the gear chance effect. So every single piece of gear, the first one has a base effect which gives you defense. When maxed out, it gives you 21% defense. I just realized my head is covering the last chance effect. Okay, I moved to the right. So, first piece of gear has a base of defense. Second one, usually, well, I think it's every single piece of gear. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure every single set for each character. First one, defense, then health, then attack, then health again, and the last one is critical attack chance. This is all good, but there are also chance effects. Each piece of gear unlocks first chance effect on level 5, second chance effect on level 20, and the last chance effect on level 40. But those are random, and you can reforge them. But what do you want to have in order to have the maximum threat? Let's start with defense. Defense is the thing that affects the threat the most. Like, completely insanely the most. It's like, if you want extremely high threat on your character, and notice, I'm not saying if you want extremely powerful character, I'm saying if you want high threat. This is not the same, and this is exactly why you shouldn't strive for high numbers all the time, but sometimes it's very useful, and we're gonna talk about it in a few minutes. But if you go to the stats, you will see the defense stat, which is for me 75%. So now, here is what's very important. 75% defense is the maximum. If you go for any higher number, it will just get wasted. So basically, if I reroll all my talents and all my gear chance effects in defense, it's gonna be useless. As long as you hit 75%, it's maxed. Going higher than that, it's just gonna waste your chance effects, which you can use for something better. So guys, never go above 75%. I think 76% right now, but that's just because I can get around 75%. So I'd rather have 76 than like 72, because defense, each percent affects your threat dramatically, especially it's not very noticeable in the lower portion of defense. Like if you have 20 or 30% defense, you will mostly see very little difference in the threat. But between 65 and 75% defense, the difference is incredible. It's almost like 20% of your threat. It's insane. So first and best, we're talking about gear chance effects, not talents right now. First and best gear chance effect you can go for is a defense. But which one is the second? First of all, let's determine the gear chance effects that actually are capable of affecting threat. It's health, attack, critical attack damage, critical attack chance, defense, did I miss something? Lethal attack chance, and lethal attack damage. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anything. Everything else, every single other talent can be very useful. I mean, stun resistance, I got epic stun resistance on my Batman, and it's just incredible. It saved my ass so many times, but it doesn't affect threat. So if your goal is the highest threat possible, you should go for those. And as we just discussed, the best one of all of these is defense. But what should you do when you max out your defense? When you have 75% defense, what's the next step? You see my gear chance effect. The next step is health. I know this sounds not very logical, that health is actually the second best gear chance effect. it affects your threat much more than attack or critical chance or critical attack damage, much more. So basically, you see, I managed to get my legendary Batman to 217k threat, one character. That's insane. I'm pretty sure he can go even higher, because I don't have all my talents on epic and on exactly what I want, but it's gonna take a buttload of time to get all the talents for the best. It takes much less time on gear chance effects. So you can, I'm gonna show you all my characters. All characters have only defense and health, because, again, I'm not going for logical. I'm not going for the most effective character. I went for the maximum threat on my Batman, which is not always a good idea. Let's think why. Let's see this. Again, health and defense. And defense, there is also one more important thing. There is two different options, two different values for each single chance effect. For example, there is 8% defense and 15% defense, and you can roll either of those. But honestly, if you want to maximize your threat, you need to go for the highest value. I could stay at 8% defense, but then to get the same 15%, I'll have to use 2 gear chance effects. Which is kind of... If you can do it in one, you can use the other one for more health. Same with health. There is 1900 health and there is 2500 health. Of course, I'm talking about maxed out gear level. If your level is lower, it's gonna be different numbers, but the principle is still the same. There is a lower stat on the gear chance effects and there's a higher. Try to aim for higher. If you get a higher one, you're super lucky. But as far as I see, it's not like the higher one is much more rare than the normal one. I'm pretty sure they have the same chance of appearing, so strive for the bigger one. So as you see, all my gear has health and defense. What does it mean? It means that my characters are gonna get the most powerful opponents in arena, which in fact will give you better, bigger amount of points and better rewards. That's the only reason to have incredibly high threat characters. To get better rewards in arena, each battle will grant you much more. Because the reward, the number of arena points you get for each victory, determined solely on the threat of your opponent. That's the only thing. And the higher your threat, the higher opponent's threat you're gonna get. But arena is not the only mode in the game. So basically, going for defense and threat. Oh my god, I have 2 healths that are not maxed out. I can get my character even higher. See? Current effect, 19k health. But you can, if you're lucky enough, you will roll 2500 health, which is gonna increase my threat even more. Can I get him to 220k? Yes, I just need to reroll one more health one for the bigger one, which will take me a couple more minutes. Oh my god, finally, it took me a while. So, let's see which is gonna be my new threat. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be, yes, it's gonna be over 220k now. So, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that the highest threat is not the ultimate goal in this game. You can get your Batman to 220k damage. He will be almost impossible to kill because he has an amazing health and amazing defense. But his attack is low. His attack is very low because I didn't use any chance effects for attack. So, let's imagine the raid. In the raid, the point is to make as much damage as possible. There are also different kinds of characters. For example, Batman, I would go for defense on Batman so I can keep him alive for longer. But for example, Mythic Wonder Woman or characters that have shields, those characters don't need that much health. I would go, instead of health, I would probably go with attack and critical attack chance and critical attack damage. Because they will have more use for it. They can use shields to prevent damage. They can use shields as their defense and health. But basic attacks will deal much more damage, so the character will be more useful. So it solely depends on which character and which mode you are most interested in. Because for Arena, go for threat, go for health, go for defense. You'll get more points, you'll get more opponents. But that's a very tricky question as well. Because you will be incredibly hard to kill, but you won't deal much damage. You'll be fighting guys with the same threat who didn't go all in health. They went all in attack. So, basically, probably, since your attack is super low, it will take you longer to kill them. So you will waste more time on every battle. Which means it's probably gonna even itself out in the end. But, again, if your goal is the highest threat, health and defense is the way to go. What if you don't have unlimited amounts of gear roll chance effects like I do on this account? The next best thing, the third best thing after health and defense is a critical chance, critical attack chance. Not the damage, surprisingly, but chance. It kind of boosts your threat a little bit, not as much as defense or health, but if you have to, like, if you don't have that many rerolls, stick to critical attack chance. But also remember, it's the same as defense. It's capped at 75%, so don't go above that. If you reach 75%, and there is not even a point to go even up to 75%. 55, 60% is good enough. If you reach that, go for critical damage then. Now, let's talk about talents. Talents is a little bit different thing. So you know that talents basically is the same thing. You go for attack, health, critical attack chance and damage, lethal attack chance and damage, and defense if you want to increase your threat. But there is a but. Plus 1% health or plus 1% attack. Seems like a good option, right? You get health and attack. But look at your stats. For example, in my case, I have 46k health, 1% of which will be around 466, and that's just because I went all in on health. I would have much less health. 466, which is compared to 2500 you can get in gear chance effects, is literally nothing. But it's basically, it's like 1/5 of what you can get. But you get 4% critical attack chance and 4% defense. And in the I'm just comparing commons right now. Obviously, if you get rare or epics, it's gonna be better. But commons, 4% critical attack chance and 4% defense. It's about 1/3 or 1/4 of what you can get in gear chance effects, and they add up. So it doesn't matter what was your previous percentage. This will add more percentage. So my advice in talents, not to go for health and attack unless your character is very new and 1%. Well, I still think that even gear chance effects, even on new characters, will probably give you more health and attack than 1% of your current stats. Well, you need to do the math. Go to your stats and count how much is 1% of your attack and health, and compare it to how much you can get from gear chance effects on gear. Because here 4% defense, the common, like 8% defense is the maxed out chance effect. In the beginning, you'll get much less. You'll get 1, 2, 3%. So getting 4% defense, stable, reliable 4% defense or 4% critical attack chance in the talents is much more valuable. So this is my advice. Go for health and defense on gear chance effects, and go for defense and critical attack chance on talents, and you will achieve the biggest threat possible. But again, you don't want to do this all the time. I wouldn't go for the maximum health and defense. Well, defense, yes, but not health on Mythic Wonder Woman. Because she has a shield. I can absorb and reflect all this damage. Why would I want to have a lot of health? I want to have a lot of damage so this girl can protect herself and deal something back. So again, guys, use your smarts. Think how you use the character. Do you want this character, if he's dying too fast, if he's already doing decent damage and he has amazing abilities, but he's dying too fast, go for defense. Then go for health. Again, I just told you the best 3 gear chance effects and talents that you can go. Obviously, you don't have unlimited retries as I had a chance to do on this account, so just go for the best options you get. You don't have to hunt for the maximum defense. If you get critical attack chance, just stick to it and go reroll something else. That is, like, for example, critical attack resistance or something. Something that doesn't give you much at all. Reroll the worst gear chance effects and gear talents and stick to the one that you get out of 3. Critical attack chance, defense, or health. That's all I have to say, guys. Leave a like in the comments if you found this video useful. That would be very useful video for me when I started. If you remember my iOS account, I took my Arkham Knight Batman from 50k to 110k just by rerolling my gear chances. I maxed out his defense and it made all the difference. Alright guys, thanks for joining. Subscribe for more. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you later.